Okay, let me tell you the story of the African violet queen. And you'll want to listen to this story if you're interested in persuasion and influence, because it's actually a story about negotiations. Because the strange thing I found in a decade of practice is that where persuasion and influence overlap, we have negotiations. Because I've never had like a decent definition of negotiations, and it was a struggle for me and Ken to actually come up with a useful definition for negotiations until it finally occurred to me that persuading, where you're actively trying to do something, and influence, where you don't have to do anything, just by the virtue of who you are, where you've been, what your story is, that people are influenced. And where they overlap, there's the dance called negotiations. So, this story is actually about two particular kinds of negotiation. The first is between a man who starts a woman on her hero's journey, and the second negotiation is between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. So this story starts off when a patient of Milton Erickson, who he helped, really helped, because he was heavily dominated by his mom, and that led to all sorts of weird stuff, including peeing in his own pants at work. Milton Erickson helped fabulously with all of those. And so 6 months later, Milton Erickson got a call from this former patient of his, highly enamored with his work. And the call basically says, I know you're going to Milwaukee to teach workshops, seminars and workshops. Could you kindly see my aunt? Now, even though at this time he resolved the thing with his mom, his aunt, he was still deeply concerned with. This was the aunt he particularly loved, and he's in contact with her every day. But every day he doesn't see her improve. You see, the aunt never got married, but she inherited a lot of money, but lived kind of alone in a large mansion. Right? And there was a guy who helped her out, who'd come to the house and help her out with gardening and all sorts of stuff. But for the most part, she was pretty alone. The place was set up though so she could move about in a wheelchair. She'd kind of been out of commission, not really ambulating well, especially in the last 2 months, because of some reason, and so the nephew was really concerned. Right? So Milton Erickson agrees, and she goes to see the woman, the aunt. Okay, and picture Milton Erickson, who at a very young age, I think his first really bad deathly bout of polio was at 14. So he was walking around in a cane. And much to the lady's surprise, because after the workshop, Milton Erickson went straight there in the cab. And to the surprise of the aunt, he sees Milton Erickson similarly disabled. This was the 1950s. And to be disabled in the 1950s, it was almost like stigma. And he didn't have much in the way of facilities to take care of you. There weren't special programs. There wasn't a PWD card that gave you access to all sorts of great stuff. That people nowadays, without disabilities, get access to. So, she was at a wheelchair, and then she was delighted for several things, including an unconscious rapport level, because he was a man who she understood at some level without even thinking it. That, here's a man who understood what it was like to be out of commission, to be disabled. Right? And she leads Milton in. And the house is built so she can shuffle around like Professor X in her wheelchair, except without the telepathy and other powers. but the first thing Milton notices is how utterly dreary this place is. It's like horrifically dreary. It's like Bruce Wayne Batman. Dark. Right? You know, without Alfred. So it was like messy dreary. And so tour of the house, and it was just dark, complicated by dark, small shrouds of light, except for this one adjacent room where there were plants. And in particular, there was, like a shelf, small potted plants with small leaves. And Milton asked, what are those? Oh, those are African violets. And Milton Erickson had grown up on a farm, so he was actually really interested in these things. And then she said, oh, those are African violets. You see that one plant over there? I grew them from cutlings from this one plant. And it's actually a hard thing to do. Except she was good at it. but it's really hard to cultivate because there are actually horticultural societies dedicated to propagating particular species of this one. In this case, it was an African violet. And then it dawned on her. Okay. Because by this time, the lady was explaining how depressed she'd been, which the nephew also said. Like, she was so depressed, she was considering a way out. And it dawned on her. And so he asked. And short interchanges later, Milton said, okay, you know what, you're not depressed. And he goes, what do you mean? You're isolated. You're not being a good Christian. And this was an affront. Despite all the rapport they had, this was an affront because in the 1950s, it meant something to a person to be told they weren't a good, whatever your denomination happened to be. In this case, she wasn't being a good Christian. She goes, what do you mean? You're highly offended. Milton goes, well, you have all these resources. You can help them. You do something particularly good, particularly well, that very few people do. Here's what you should do. Milton says. You told me that you attend community gatherings, but in the last few months you haven't done so much. Right? Here's what you should do. You take your church newsletter and whatever else flyers they send you take all of the announcements and everyone that could use a ray of light, that whether someone was born, baptized, so can be congratulated, or someone lost someone and is really grieving, and there might not be anyone else who could express sympathy. You take this man who helps you out, have him drive you, and you take one of those new cutlings that you've made, and you offer them condolences or congratulations. And this she did. A decade later, Milton received the news and opened a newsletter, the Milwaukee Post or Journal, to a headline that said, with an accompanying phone call, somebody had called him. The headline read, African Violet Queen of Milwaukee dies. Thousands mourn. And this was true. Because at local church, there were crowds upon crowds, and this was before, the crowds were used to like Star Wars, right? There were crowds upon crowds upon crowds just dying to get in, to pay their final respects to someone who had been seen as one who connects, one who helps, one who consoles. Because one of the things that she understood in that moment from Erickson was this was her chance to be present. One human being in front of another human being. To express who she was and to make it felt that here's my chance. And this story so touched the trainer, the psychotherapist, whom I first heard this from. His name is Bill O'Brien, as I remember. And it so touched him because this was 1977 when in an ante room with two others, Milton told them the story. And it so touched him that it guided the direction that his life took. Because in that moment, despite what he'd been learning in graduate school, he decided he would be one who would cultivate violence, African violence, in the lives of people. And how it finally got to that resolution strongly was, understand this, he didn't have much, but his arrangement with Milton Erickson, who really wanted to help out and pass on what he had, was, I'd help out with, guess what, plants. Because Milton Erickson still liked plants. And he would help with the gardening. Graduate student helping be Milton Erickson with gardening. And he took the chance, even though he wasn't sure how to ask him. He felt it was really private. He asked him, imagine how much this man was. Because Milton was the guy who's killed. He was there in Rome, and Milton said, you get this. What do you call those books where they have clippings? Yeah, some sort of a binder, and then he was the one who got it out from there and opened it up to where it actually said improved, physical proof. Yeah, the African violet queen of Milwaukee dies, thousands more. So he was the one who put it out. And so this really touched him. And so finally, when they had some time alone in the garden, he asked Milton, he said, this is what I'd like to do from now on. How do I do this? Milton Erickson goes, oh, you see, I had seen what her life was like. And I had seen how many weeds we would have to remove. And I decided it would be so much easier to just grow the violets that have to deal with the weeds. And last I remember, Bill is still doing a version of what he calls, and started in the 80s, called outcome therapy, or something like that. Because until that time, people were still interested in the causes, rather than, and this was before positive psychology, and our understanding that it's not enough to take a person from negative to zero. It's, you gotta take a person back to a good experience of life. And so the story to me echoes a lot of things. How important it is to be present, to have some clarity so that you can see what's there. Concepts in hypnosis and NLP such as utilization, use what's there. How important rapport is, how you've got to take a person from where they are and meet them where they're at before you take them where you want to go. And sleight of mouth, because he used a redefined pattern. No, you're not depressed. You're just not being a good Christian. You say what? You just isolated yourself. You're not depressed. You just isolated yourself. And this takes together, this one story came to my mind in particular because it was such a poignant story, and there's so many things that I'm interested in now. Clarity of mind, focus, the power of stories to change and direct lives, and what it means to go through a hero's journey of your own. Because here was someone who thought she was depressed, who got started on her own journey to be a hero to thousands.